Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, James. Alongside me, always, his name is...
I'm Andy.
We are welcoming you to join us on this journey as we all become legend of the nerds. Good evening, morning, afternoon, Andy. How you feeling?
Same old, I guess.
Same old. Anything new with you this week?
We won't go there, but yes.
We'll go there. Got some stuff going on.
We got a little bit going on, but can't say it's a great day. It's a horrible day out today. Very gloomy out today.
It was very gloomy out today. Yeah.
Just tells you spring's in the air because that rainy spring days are here to come.
Well, it's bringing May flowers, right?
Yep.
Last night we had a chance to watch Payback?
WWE Payback. Yep.
What'd you think?
It's okay. It's Payback. It's not really that great of a show, anyways.
Every show should be great, but this show was kind of not so great.
Well, he had an injury on there, obviously. Enzo Amore with the concussion, taking a header to the ropes. Mm-hmm. So that kind of screwed up the whole show there. So everybody has to do a little extra double duty, you can say.
Yeah. I heard he got concussed.
He got concussed.
Concussed.
Yep.
So that's not good because a wrestler with too many concussions is, well, not a wrestler anymore.
He's a retired wrestler.
That's exactly what that is. Anything else you want to go on? No?
No, I say we hit the checklist.
Should we dive right in?
Let's hit the checklist.
All right, today's checklist. We're going to start sad and go happy, hopefully. Got a few passing aways over the last half a month here.
When one dies, it just seems like all of a sudden it's a domino effect.
It is. It's terrible, too, because first, Balls Mahoney, an ECW original.
Exactly. Great ECW original.
Yeah, he passed away. Then Chyna, the ninth wonder of the world.
Soon to be Hall of Famer, too.
I hope so.
So, died very young. About 46 years old, I think she was.
Late 40s, somewhere down there.
Never a big fan, but she is a Hall of Famer.
I remember watching her every night on the Attitude Era, and it was just... She was awesome. Mm-hmm. She really put something big into the DX faction.
Yep.
You know? Then on the same day, I believe, Prince died. I know you're not a fan of his music. I grew up listening to his music, so, I mean... And what I've heard was he had a whole vault in his house of unreleased music. So now, hopefully, it will get released to have new Prince music out there.
Yeah, I mean, even though I wasn't a fan of Prince, you can't cut his achievements.
No.
He is one of those all-time greats that people adored. So.
Yep. And finally, another death. This one really hit close to Doris Roberts.
Everybody loves Raymond's mother.
I know, man. She did so much great acting other than that show, too. Mm-hmm. And she was just so funny. Any big parts you remember her being in?
No.
Big scenes on Everybody Raymond?
I never really watched Everybody Loves Raymond, but I know her from there. I mean, you catch her in a couple of the movies and stuff. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Grandma's Boy.
Okay, yes. There you go. So, I mean, it's another loss.
Another loss.
Like I said, it's a domino effect. Hopefully we don't get any more coming up soon.
We don't need any more.
Exactly.
We don't need any more. Well, that's it for the bad news. Let's go happy. Shall we go happy?
Sure.
Go happy. Here's the news you just found out today. LeBron James, your favorite basketball player.
Oh, yeah, we won't go there.
He is set up to be in a new movie. An old 90s movie. Space Jam 2. Which
sets up for our show today, getting into the reboots, or I don't even know if it's a reboot or if it's a sequel, or...
We'll get on the topic, the main event, soon. But let's go on Space Jam 2.
I just don't... I really think this is going to screw up the Space Jams, the first movie. The first movie was so good.
It was good, yeah.
There's no need to go ahead and make a second or a reboot or whatever, especially with LeBron.
Well, honestly, it's really about just sparking up the Looney Tunes again. Really, I mean, who doesn't like a good Bugs Bunny cartoon, Daffy Duck, you know?
Yeah, but you got, like I said, I think LeBron's going to ruin the whole thing.
You think so?
Oh, I really do.
I don't watch basketball at all, so I know the name because he's a big time basketball player.
Oh, he's the
apparently,
Michael
but-
Jordan of this generation.
Yeah, but I don't really watch basketball. I don't really know any of his work on the court at all. I'm not sure that I can act, but I'm just kind of excited that there's a new Space Jam movie. Because I really liked the first one.
Yeah, the first one was a cult classic, so...
All right, next up we have not a lot of information, but it did get a green light. The Punisher gets his own solo show on Netflix.
Which I think you and I agree with this. It's the whole Punisher thing. Like, I didn't mind it in Daredevil, but I know some people are going to hate us for saying this, but we just don't see the whole point in it. Yeah, Punisher's a big name, but I can't see the storyline that great.
I think the Punisher would be better off just going on another show.
Yeah, being like the little small guest appearances.
Yeah. But who knows? This may start off pre Daredevil. You know, it may tell his story about why he became the Punisher. The whole storyline that they kind of told in Daredevil, they may broaden it more to really explain it.
I really think it's gonna set right after what happened at the end of Daredevil season 2.
Think so?
And I don't even think it's Netflix who's picking it up.
Yeah, Netflix is picking it up.
It is? Okay, because at one point it was saying that Netflix wasn't going to, but it'd be an actual TV station
Right.
that might be picking it up.
Yeah,
so.
the Daredevil Punisher is way too dark to be on national television, so Netflix is better off just taking it.
It makes sense for it to be on Netflix anyways. They debuted Punisher like that on a TV series on Netflix, and you've got the same guy playing Punisher for it. You might as well have it on the same streaming network.
Right.
So, I think because now being the fact it is going to be on Netflix, I see them picking it up right where it left off. Though it could go back and explain more of his time overseas in war before coming back to New York, because they're already doing it with Luke Cage. It's not like Luke Cage's story starting off right after Jessica Jones. It's a prequel to Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
So it's not like they haven't done it before.
So I mean, they could do both ways. No matter what, I'll probably will check it out anyways, just because it's a comic book show. But I'm not sure how excited I am right now.
Exactly. We got to know our facts.
More information would be better for us. Speaking of new TV shows, new Star Trek show come out, Andy.
Yeah, I heard about it. Never a Star Trek fan, so...
Not Trekkie?
No, just the movies we've seen the last two, now with Beyond coming out this summer, have been very interesting. But the whole storylines and shows from it, never was a fan.
Yeah. I didn't actually get a chance to read this whole article, so I really don't know much about it right now. I will read this article and put it on our Facebook page once I figure out what's going on with the Star Trek show, but all I know is being filmed this fall. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a reboot of Next Generation, or if it's going to be a brand new captain, brand new ship. It may not be the Enterprise, it could be something else.
Yeah, from what I heard, it's not like Captain Kirk. It's not, I forgot who Patrick Stewart played.
Picard.
Yeah, it's not about him. I think it's a whole different storyline of Star Trek.
Which it wouldn't be bad because I feel like they've not done it before, I mean, Deep Space Nine was a great Star Trek show. And it wasn't even about a spaceship. It was about a space station. That's all it's about.
Yep.
That's a good show. And finally, this news got me great. Because I'm a huge Nathan Fillion fan. I'm not sure if you know who that is. His biggest role was known for Firefly. He was in that show. He did a lot of other, like the show The Castle. He was in that show. Huge nerd fan.
See the main guy in Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I've seen him before. He was he played the villain on the final season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's
he's a preacher.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
she
exactly
slices
right.
his head off at the end.
Yeah. Yep. You're absolutely right about that. Yep. He got picked up for a new role in the Marvel Universe in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Volume 2 movie.
Okay.
He is going to be playing Simon Williams, a.k.a. Wonder Man. Now, I had to do some legwork on Wonder Man because I really didn't know much about Wonder Man at all.
Yep.
Do you know him at all before I even get into this?
No, if you came to me and said the name Wonder Man, my first thought would be in the Wonder Woman Wonder Woman universe.
Okay. So you would think DC. In fact.
Exactly.
Okay. So here's what I got. Wonder Man best teamed up with the Avengers, the Shield, and the Defenders. And his powers are pretty much superhuman strength, speed, agility, flight, enchanted vision and hearing. Not really sure
So
what that
basically, he's a rogue.
is. Pretty much. Extended lifespan, and also his greatest power ever. He's apparently a talented actor. So after reading this briefing, I'm like, okay, this is Booster Gold on Marvel.
Basically.
That's pretty much what I see here. You know?
I'd like to add too with this bringing up Guardians of the Galaxy thing. I can't wait to see Kurt Russell play. Who is it? Finn's father, or not Finn.
Star-Lord's dad?
Star-Lord's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the whole thing is he's not human though. He's an alien, and his mother's human. So it'd be pretty neat to see Kurt Russell play an alien for a character instead of this.
How it looks, yeah.
So it's pretty neat. Kurt Russell starting to come back into the fold of movies.
Yeah. I think he was battling some sort of disease or something, wasn't he, for a while?
I don't know. I mean, he was in Furious 7, so...
Yeah. I don't know. But I heard Sylvester Stallone's in the new Guardians movie, too, isn't he?
Yes.
He's a villain, right?
I don't think so. I think he's a guard for the Nova Corp.
Oh, he's just playing a guard?
I think so.
Huh.
He's like playing like one of their sergeants or something like that, I want to
Really?
say. I think. I'm not positive. Can't quote me on it.
All right. We should get more information on it and put it on Facebook, because I think it was a villain, if I remembered right. But it could be a guard. Who knows? Anyways, last bit of news for me. I've been talking about this for weeks, because I enjoy the whole Greek mythology stuff. And you see I have Hercules up here. Also, the other show, Xena. Xena is told to have a reboot coming out. But as I thought about this, I don't know if it's possible at all. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the entire series of Xena.
Not the entire.
If you guys have not seen the entire series of Xena, here's some spoilers right now. The biggest issue I have is that Xena and Hercules based on Greek mythology, all the gods, right? Well, Xena killed all the gods. So the only ones left is Aphrodite and Ares for gods. Alright? So there's one big problem, you know? Not a huge problem, because Xena did a lot of episodes that had nothing to do with the gods. So it's not a huge problem. They could work around it, which is fine. The biggest problem I had, Xena died at the end of the series. So, if they're going to do a reboot, how are they going to bring Xena back from the dead?
You just said there, reboot. For me, a reboot is restarting the entire series.
They want to do a continuation, kind of. They're going to reboot the series, bring it back forward, and continue the series on.
Okay.
You know?
Technically, it's not really a reboot. Because a reboot, to me, in my eyes, is you're taking a series and restarting it over.
It's Hollywood. You say tomato, they say tomato. You know? Who knows what they're thinking. But all the articles I read, it's a continuation.
It's probably going to be picked up by someone like NBC, for instance.
Yeah, probably.
Where it'll last maybe a season or two. Because NBC does not play TV series that long. Unless it's, right here, Heroes.
Right.
Because they got Heroes Reborn going on right now. So I guarantee they're going to kind of screw it all up and be thinking, oh, maybe no one will remember something like that. And
I mean,
there we go.
Fans are going to remember that Xena's dead.
It was what, the late 90s?
Ended 2002,
Okay.
I think.
Still. Been a while.
I'll give you that. It has been a while. It's been, 14 years? It has been a while. But, I mean, if they should just start from scratch. If they're going to do that, bring back Hercules. The way that show ended, they could continue on.
That was probably one of the, during that time period, one of the top rating shows. Whoever, the screenwriters for that show, amazing job.
Yeah. The only problem with bringing back Hercules is that Aeolus, Michael Hurst, is no longer with us.
Yeah, but if you're going to bring back a show, you're not obviously going to bring back the original cast. You might have, like, a Kevin Sorbo as a guest appearance here or there. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with Xena. Yes, what's her name who played Xena?
Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless. She has stated she wants to come back for the show. Yeah. They're not going to cast her as Xena. You're going to see her...
They were thinking about it. The article said they were thinking about it. The only problem was that Renee O'Connell, the one who played Gabrielle, she doesn't want to come back.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't want Lucy Lawless, for me, as a fan, playing Xena again, because you want to see someone younger portray that role and maybe stretch it out for a while. And to me, I don't mind seeing the original cast, like the Kevin Sorbo for Hercules or the Lucy Lawless for Xena, come back, but they're going to put them, I guarantee, in a small role where it's like, oh, look at that. There's the original Xena kind of thing, like a little cameo appearance.
Right.
So
It could, I don't know. If they are going to, bring back the series, it should just be start from scratch, I guess, and redo it. Because if they start off where left off, I don't think it's going to hold water at all.
no, especially on, like I said, on NBC, they need to start from scratch. They just need to go ahead and do a straight off reboot. And
Yeah.
just episode 1, bam.
Right. They should. Yeah. Yeah. So Hercules, they should be done, and then Xena maybe redo from the beginning, which is a great lever for what our main topic is. Our main goal today. We are talking all about the 80s and 90s TV shows and how they're being revamped. I want to really get the purpose of this topic of really just, is it a good idea for Hollywood to be taking old shows in the 80s and 90s and rebooting them? Or is it a good idea just to take a hand-picked ones that could hold water, as we're talking about, and revamp them and just take all the ones that are like, you know what, that's not really worth our time.
Well, from our list that we have here that you and I go over prior to today, we have some shows where they have been rebooted. There's some good, some certain cartoons, children's series, and then there's some actual live action TV shows that aren't really rebooted, but they have spin-offs. And to me, the spin-off is better than the reboots that we have written down today.
Yeah.
So much better. And a lot of it has been because from what we've talked about for our previous episode talking about the DuckTales TV series. Back when we watched it as kids, that was hand-drawn.
Yeah.
That's what made it great. Now you have everything digitally enhanced, which is looking like crap. So, obviously, rebooting a cartoon nowadays really isn't anything that great. My biggest cartoon pet peeve would be what I've told you earlier, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Horrible what Nickelodeon's doing to it. It doesn't look like a Turtles cartoon compared to what it looked like before.
Right.
So, that's where I just don't see rebooting.
Do you like the early 90s Turtles show?
Exactly.
But the new Nickelodeon you don't like?
No.
What about you don't like about it?
Like their hands, for instance. They're square. It doesn't even look like a turtle hand. It's very dark colors. It's not bright. It just looks like crap.
Right.
And that's where I think if you're going to bring back something from the 80s or the 90s, it should be maybe a live action. Like we were talking, Hercules or Xena. Not a cartoon where you have these cartoons that were hand-drawn, which made them look great, and now you're just going to computer animation, which looks like crap.
Right.
Or, for instance, one of my favorite shows growing up for live action was Power Rangers. The original.
Yep.
The stuff they're doing now is crap because they're trying to push it out too quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas when we grew up watching Power Rangers, you had the same people, but for multiple seasons. Instead of just, oh, here you are on TV for 3 months, and then we have a whole new Power Rangers show coming out. It's stupid. There's like 20 different types of Power Rangers
You're
now.
not digging that.
No. I like the original. That's what makes...
Did they have like a season where they brought back all of the Power Rangers
It was actually
into one giant fight?
It was like a 1-hour episode. And it's not even... You saw the outfits, but maybe only 2 or 3 actually took their helmet off to reveal the actual person that was behind.
Okay.
It was stupid. It was dumb. That's why I'm excited for the movie that's coming out that we talked about earlier, because they're actually using the same names for the characters. It's not some made-up different thing.
Right.
So,
well, let's continue this conversation with a couple shows that I've written down right here. You're talking about animation style.
yep.
So I think we're going to start with this one here. The Powerpuff Girls.
Oh,
I was never really a huge fan of this show. It came out back in 1998. It was, to me, very lazy American cartoon drawing. I was never a fan of this kind of artwork. I mean, it's just, there's nothing there. There's no, depth to the cartoon itself. What I did like about it was actually the writing and the storyline itself.
the storyline itself was amazing.
Yeah. The drawing itself, I don't like. Now, here we are, centuries later, 2016. the reboot comes out on Cartoon Network.
Same channel that the original came out on.
And I've seen a couple pictures of it. It's pretty much kind of the same artwork, but it's more brighter, I heard. More deft, right? I mean, have you seen a couple episodes?
I've seen a couple. The voice actors I didn't really care for.
Okay.
And the storyline, crap.
Yeah. What the drawing look like, the background, and
It's almost about the same, but just a little bit more cornier, I think.
oh really?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched almost the entire series of the original because when it came out, I was 10 years old.
Yep.
So, 10-year-old kid, Cartoon Network was a great show. They had all the great cartoons.
It was a good network, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's crap. And that's the problem with all the cartoon stations now. They're just putting out crap.
They are just putting out a lot of American crap. Right? Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
To me, Nickelodeon, for instance, was one of the greatest kids' TV stations ever. It's horrible now.
Yeah, they had a lot of great cartoons and a lot of great live action game shows and sketch comedy shows like that.
That was the perfect mix. You had, for instance, I don't know where there's a kid game show anymore. Do you remember? Tell me if you remember any of these. You probably do. You have Guts, which was the best kids show ever.
Yeah, Mike O'Malley hosted that.
Yeah, Double Dare.
Yep.
Nick Arcade.
Yep, I love that show.
Not Family Feud. Figure It Out was on there. That was a good show.
That's a good sketch comedy show.
And one of my all-time favorites, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yes.
You don't see that anymore. You want to bring something back? Bring that back. I want to see that.
Just as clean and entertaining as it is. You know?
Exactly.
That's
Like you
good
can
stuff.
watch reruns of it, but why watch a rerun when I've already seen it? Bring that back. Get kids entertained and more. I don't know, the government and all that stuff, for instance, complains about kids not getting enough exercise and all this stuff.
Right.
Why not bring a TV show where kids get excited to go on and compete in something like that?
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was fun stuff. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
You want to bring something back? Reboot those shows.
Yeah, so far what we're getting at is, again, there are some certain channels, networks out there like Nickelodeon, who was on top of the ball back in the early 90s. But now, if you look at them now, it's all just not good stuff.
No.
So for that one channel, it might actually benefit them to reboot shows like the ones that you just mentioned. Because, I mean, I don't know what they have right now. They have, what's their big show right now?
SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants, which makes absolutely no sense.
Which has been on
to
for
me.
like 10 years.
Makes no sense to me. The science of the show makes no sense. He is obviously a dish sponge. Dish sponges float when they're full of water, but yet he's sitting here inside, under the ocean.
Making hamburgers.
Living in a pineapple, which, by the way, if you don't know, pineapples do float, by the way. So it's things like that that really just anger me when they take science and they're like, we don't need it.
It's like you're rotting your intelligence or something.
Exactly right, yeah. Yeah. So maybe they should just get rid of all this crap now and just reboot and just go back in time and just redo the same old shows.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their top show is. I know they're making new episodes of SpongeBob, but that tells you something. Like, I don't watch the station because there's nothing on there I want to watch.
No.
I mean, even bring back, for instance, the cult classic. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it's cult classic All That. You're telling me you can't find young comedians to all be on a show?
I think they don't need to. I think they could bring back the original cast. I mean, Kel Mitchell is amazing. Keane Thompson is still funny.
Their show together was amazing.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't have to do a reboot, but do a spin-off and have them together again as adults.
Have them just come back to another random show? Yeah, it'd be great. Why not?
I think actually Kel Mitchell is doing a Nickelodeon show right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Game Makers or something like that it's called.
Nice.
So,
That guy was funny. Kel Mitchell was funny.
but it's things like that instead of making these stupid computer animated things.
Yeah. So for Nickelodeon, do the reboots, stop doing making new stuff. Let's move to Cartoon Network. What do you remember Cartoon Network? Anything?
What I grew up watching on Cartoon Network, we had Powerpuff Girls. We went over.
Okay.
Wasn't a huge fan, but it was on.
It was on.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Okay.
It was a pretty good show. You said they've thinking about bringing this back, but Samurai Jack.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So that was a really good show.
So Jack was good.
And even on Cartoon Network, they had, when I got older, late at night, Toonami, which is still there, but it's shows I really don't care about.
American shows are really picky right now. I don't know why they're so picky about this kind of stuff, but they much rather have references to dumb comedy than having good entertainment cartoons out there that are a little violent, you know? Because Toonami is mostly, all it really is Japanese animation going to America. That's really all Toonami really is.
Yeah, because they're still playing. They'll play Dragon Ball episodes, for instance, but it's Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yeah,
so you're not really
dumbed down.
Exactly. You want one of the best shows I found on Toonami? Zoids.
Zoids?
Do you know what Zoids are?
I remember Zoids.
And it's only the one series of Zoids I liked. It was Zoids 21st Century. It was one of the best shows I've ever watched. Bring something like that back. But for now on Cartoon Network, for instance, I really can't tell you what else they have.
No.
Because it's just it's either reruns of a show that I watched 10 years ago and I really don't care about anymore, or it's some stupid cartoon.
Well, let me tell you what we have on Cartoon Network right now. It's on the list. It's My Little Pony.
We won't go there.
Let's go here. Just
my
because
God.
in 1986...
You want to dumb my intelligence, which I don't even know. I sounded dumb saying that.
I thought the same thing until my girl started watching the show. And I was like, you know what? This actually holds kind of water. The original came out in 1986. It wasn't
even alive yet.
You weren't even alive yet. See, this is why it's important to me and not you. So it was pretty much lame drawings. It was like not just standalone episodes, just feel good episodes, you know? But now, the reboot came out in 2010, and they changed the entire storyline of the entire My Little Pony universe. To a point where there's actually a new saying called bronies out there. And they are male fans of the show.
God.
I know, stick with me on this.
Where is this country going? Where is this world going to?
So, the My Little Pony series now is actually a little entertaining. There is a continued storyline from season 1 up to whatever season they're on now, you know? And it's pretty much based on the main character, I've written down here, Twilight Sparkle. And it's pretty much based on her developing her magical powers.
Oh my God.
And saving the kingdom. It's a basic, but think about it, it's a basic show like any other rescue show.
Yes, for a kid, not a full-grown adult.
It's still a reboot, and this is a family show.
I can understand you watching it with your kids, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to a Comic-Con, which is called BronyCon, and buying these little foo-foo... What?
Is it really called BronyCon?
Yes!
How do you know this?
Because I've seen it on Comic Book Men.
I think you've been there.
Yes, I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on this right here, ladies and gentlemen. This.
Wow. You are really angry about this topic.
I hate the My Little Ponies. I just don't see full-grown men going to this thing.
Well, not about full-grown men. I'm just talking about a reboot that came out.
Yes, but because of the reboot, it's gotten people like you or people our own age wanting to go to that instead of a Comic-Con.
I don't want to go to that. But think about this, though. Think about the attention the show's got, though. Right?
No, I don't want to think about it.
I'm just saying that is where good entertainment comes in and good story writing comes in, to where it's actually good enough to hold water for people to actually pay attention to it. Now compare this show to, say, a SpongeBob. When did you say SpongeBob came out?
Oh jeez, SpongeBob probably since like 2004.
2004. This show came out in 2010. Already has a con dedicated just to that. Then you have a stupid show like SpongeBob, who's got what?
He's got
over 200 episodes and a movie.
He's on 2 movies.
2 movies.
And he's got a giant balloon in the Macy's Day Parade.
I think My Little Pony does too, though. But that's the stuff we're comparing, though. That's the stuff. That's what the show's about today. It's comparing really good reboots to really bad ones, and comparing to the entertainment shows that are on TV right now. And that's what it's really about.
I will say
it goes down to that.
I will say, getting serious here for a moment, My Little Pony, you look at the figures here on the table, for instance. That type of figure deserves to be a computer animated TV show because it's very bright, very bold outlines, everything. So it makes sense nowadays being better than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, whereas some of the other things, like we said, Powerpuff Girls, for instance, was better hand-drawn. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, better hand-drawn.
Yep.
So, it has to be... I don't know the saying that I want to say for... so it has to be bright and bold to be computer animated.
Yeah. And all I'm saying about My Little Pony is that it deserves to be on the list because of the attention it got in such a short amount of time. After 6 years, it's already creating hype, to where...
That hype.
Where SpongeBob not really doing much. All these new shows aren't really doing anything. But this reboot, wow, awesome. This is why we have good reboots, and why some reboots should not be happening at all. Let's get off the cartoon stuff and go to more live action stuff. Let's start with this one, because we both enjoy this show. Full House.
Oh, I loved Full House.
Back in 1987, this show first came out with Bob Saget and
John Stamos.
Yep.
And I forget Joey's character or his name.
Right. I think the Couture or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
anyways,
when this show first came out, it was a great show. It really was. It was funny. It was entertaining. It was a life lesson in this every episode.
Yeah, because it had everyday family incidents that would happen to any regular person out there.
Yeah.
So
this show is pretty much based on life lessons learned in the household, which I liked.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then 2016, Fuller House came out.
Amazing. It got bad reviews.
Did it really?
It did. Some people didn't care for it, but it is back for season 2. I'm so excited because I wanted to see kind of the same, because that's what they're trying to do is grab the likeness and the iconicness from Full House and put it in Fuller House. So it's almost the same storyline, but it's the kids growing up, and now they have their kids. And it wasn't almost the same storyline. They added their own little touches, and I thought it was great. Plus, being you want to know who actually complained about the show? People who weren't fans of Full House.
Okay.
People who were great fans of Full House loved Fuller House.
Right.
So...
Because they did get actually all the regular cast back, except for the Olsen twins, right?
Yep, the Olsen twins did not, but there is rumor they might come back for season 2. I mean, they even had at the end of Full House, you have John Stamos' character, Uncle Jesse, and Aunt Becky. They have their own set of twins, and they're still kind of young at the end. They brought those exact 2 kids who played the twins back for the very first episode. They're like 21 years old.
Yeah, why not?
So that's just something pretty neat. Even though it was only for like 5 minutes,
right?
Bringing someone like that back instead of saying, "Oh, well, we can just pick 2 random people."
And this is where the reboot comes in, because I enjoyed the fact that they got all the characters, all the actors back in the original into this new show.
I wouldn't really call it a reboot. It's more of a spin-off.
I don't know. It's tomato kind of thing. I mean, it's taking from when Full House left to Full House. I mean, it's still the same characters. It's still pretty much the same genre of show.
It's actually
life lessons learned in the house.
Same house, same furniture.
Yeah.
Same theme music. Actually, it's the exact same song, just different.
By a different person. Right? Yeah.
So I mean, it all depends on what your definition of reboot or spinoff is.
So that's Full House. I mean, anything else you want to say about it? What's your favorite part about the Fuller House?
The ladies are very attractive. No, getting on a serious note, it teaches the same thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good life lessons for kids that I would like to see nowadays, because me personally, I think kids are a lot worse than when we were kids. And I think watching something like this, you can take a lesson from something. Learn how to grow up, basically. And it's good in the fact where it's not just The show is actually it's less about the kids in the show actually, and more about the adults that we watched as kids.
Really?
Yes, because you have DJ and Stephanie and Kimmy, because she lives in the house with them,
Right.
and they all have their relationship issues going on.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a pretty neat storyline.
Good concept, you know.
And
Bringing back the old
They even
'90s.
brought back the dog. Comet. It's not the same dog. It's not.
No, I thought it was Comet's dog. Like,
It's Comet's kids.
okay.
Because it's like Comet Junior or something like
Okay.
that.
All right.
It's pretty neat. So yeah, it's enjoyable.
Here is a brand new thing for us, Andy. This just in came from the Legendary Office. All right. I just reminded that there was another reboot cartoon that I don't think you really know about. It's a British one.
Oh jeez,
It's the Danger Mouse. Do you remember Danger Mouse?
no.
No.
It's coming from across the pond here.
Yeah, it's coming from the pound, but this news coming from the Legendary's office right now. I just got emailed about it. Danger Mouse came out in 1984-ish, I think. And it's pretty much about a white mouse who's a spy, and I think he had like a mole as a partner or something, right? And you fight crime.
All I can remember is from Disney, The Great Detective Mouse.
Right.
Which it was playing off Sherlock Holmes.
Well, you know, back in the 80s, they did a lot of mice thing because Disney took off with Mickey Mouse so well that, you know, they had to do Danger Mouse, they had to do Mighty Mouse.
That's the one I remember the most, is Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
The Superman mouse, basically.
But apparently Netflix picked up on Danger Mouse and created a brand new series, which is pretty exciting stuff, I would say.
Can we just to halt here for a second, give a nice clap to Netflix. We don't like to promote, obviously, here, but they're doing something that TV stations like Fox and CBS and NBC and all that, they're doing something great where they're actually picking up TV shows and movies and actually doing something good with them and making them enjoyable.
Yep.
Whereas these high budget TV companies are making them like crap.
Right.
And they only last maybe a season or two.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say I hate about Netflix with their TV shows is that I don't want it all in one lump clump. Maybe do it weekly. Put the episodes on there and stretch it out so that I'm not just sitting there for one day and
Well, do you know what
binge watch
Netflix
it.
is for?
It's for binge watching.
It's for binge watching. Chill and watch Netflix. You know? It's binge watching. So I'm actually glad that they put all their episodes at once, right out.
That or make the seasons a little longer. Like Fuller House, it's only 10 episodes. Or what we just watched, you actually just watched The Ranch, which got picked up for season 2.
Yes.
It was only 10 episodes.
Yep.
Make it maybe 20 episodes or something. I hate that. That's why I hate the whole giving it all to us in one lump clump, because it's not long.
No.
It's very quick, especially if they're half-an-hour shows.
Yeah.
So, make it a little longer.
They go longer shows. Mm-hmm. I like it. Next show on the list. I haven't watched the reboot yet. I'm not sure if you watched the reboot yet. X-Files came back out too.
Didn't care for X-Files in the beginning?
1993 is when the original came out.
I know a lot of people were so excited when this announcement hit.
Unfortunately, I don't have cable, so I can't watch the reboot. But I enjoyed X-Files as a show itself, you know? I mean, it's a sci-fi show. I love sci-fi shows. You know, monster hunting, alien hunting, whatever. It's good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure how the reboot is at all.
I think what they said was they brought back a lot of the originals, I thought, from the show.
Yeah, they did. Yep, Scully and Mulder are both back, which is nice, because, I mean, without those two, you don't want to have X-Files, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not positive on how well it did, but for some reason I heard it got picked up for season 2.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
Which is nice. Which is real nice.
Yep.
Then another show. This one we have a good conversation about. We're both a big fan of it. You have it sitting right in front of you right now. The Boy Meets World.
Amazing.
Came out 1993.
That is the one show I grew up. As they got older, I got older. It was around the same time period.
Is it?
I believe so.
You sure?
That was the early...
See with this. When this show came out, I was 10.
And you're what? How much older than I? You're how old? 32?
I'm 32.
Yeah, so you're only 4 years older than me.
So, you'd be 4 years behind them, I think.
Still, I grew up watching
Yeah.
that, like coming home from school and watching them in school.
Right.
It was one of those you could kind of grow up watching at the same time
Yeah,
period.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going
And
with.
it's not like they were on in a blink of an eye and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally went on the show from kids in grammar school to junior high to high school to college.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what made the show great,
Yeah.
is that you watch them grow up. That's what people like my parents, for instance, say. Grew up watching Little House on the Prairie. You watch Laura Ingalls grow up. And that was something that a lot of people enjoyed.
Really? Mm-hmm. I wasn't a big fan.
Love Little House on the Prairie.
Of course you do.
Some Golden Girls, some stuff
Okay.
like that. So yeah.
Boy Meets World. Like I said, I was 10 when it came out, so I was pretty much the same age as Corey Matthews growing up through this series.
Yep.
That's why I related so well to everything that he was going through.
Hmm?
Because I had that one friend that was that rebel friend, who always got in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it.
Did you have your own Mr. Feeney too? That followed you
Kind of.
creepishly through every grade?
Mostly in high school I did. Mostly in high school I did. That one teacher I hated to love, to respect,
Yeah.
He just annoyed me, but what he did was good stuff. Like Mr. Feeney, Then 2014, Girl Meets World comes out.
Which I know when I first heard Girl Meets World, I got excited because I'm like, oh my god, is it like a kind of like Boy Meets World kind of thing? And then I'm like, oh crap, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something totally different, and it will be dumb.
Right.
And then when I saw the cast and read the plot, I right off knew this was going to be a mega hit, a bombshell. And they're going into, I think they're in season 4 or just ended season 4, somewhere around there.
That's season 3.
I don't know, but still, it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And they have not looked back. It has been almost not a mirror image of Boy Meets World, but close to it. They're grabbing.
It is a very close point to where Girl Meets World and Boy Meets World are almost the same.
Yeah.
And I love that about the show.
But what makes
Love
it
that
great
about the show.
is bringing back the cast from Boy Meets World, playing the parents for Girl Meets World. That is the best touch to this show.
Yep.
Because, yes, it's funny to see these new characters for our kids now today. But for you and me, you love seeing the cast you grew up watching.
Yeah. Ben Savage has not lost a beat either. He held on that Corey Matthews part, and he can still work it real well.
And I love when the whole Corey, Sean come back together in the episodes.
Yep.
Because it's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at first, when I first heard the show coming out, I read that Ryder Strong didn't want any part with it, but apparently he watched the first couple episodes. He's like, you know what, this is good. I'll come back.
And even the little couple episodes, there's been 2 episodes with Will Ferrell coming back playing Eric Matthews.
Yep.
Just classic. Because there was an episode I saw you and the family watching, his first episode coming back, where he plays the character Mr. Squirrels.
Yes.
Which, if anyone knows from the last season of Boy Meets World, where they have this giant feud going on, and then they see themselves in the future, he's this hobo kind of living out in the forest who's married to a moose, and his name is Mr. Squirrels. He has a little lollipop under his giant beard and everything. He has this giant Mephisto. It's like 1,000 pages, and it's just one sentence in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, after I wrote that, there was no need to write anything else. And now he's the mayor of his area. I mean, it's those funny little gestures and bringing that, basically that little continuation from the end of Boy Meets World into Girl Meets World, which makes, it grabs you, it draws you in. It's making you remember from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Which, that's the best part. If you're going to bring something back, take what grabbed you as a kid and bring it to you into this new show. Don't come up with some stupid other crap.
No.
If something was great, run with it.
That's the thing. Disney is a hit and miss sometimes. But when they hit that home run. Because this show is that good. It's a little too sappy once in a while for me. But, I mean, I am a little older now, so now it's like, what's going on? But if I put myself in my kids' shoes, I think I might understand. So.
I wanted to mention here before I forget, because I remember this, if we're talking reboots or spin-offs. For instance, do you remember the show Bewitched?
Yes.
This was a cult classic back in the 70s and all that, and 80s. They ended up making a spin-off called Tabitha, which was Samantha, who was in Bewitched, her daughter, about her.
Yep.
Only lasted maybe a season or two. Horrible show. NBC, I don't know if they're still going with it, but what I have read from last year was they want to bring back Bewitched, but instead of it being Bewitched, now it's Tabitha's daughter who the show's going to be about. Why do that when it didn't work the first time?
I don't know.
That's what I'm getting at. Don't kind of grab something that didn't do anything great and try to think, oh, maybe we can go ahead and redo it.
You know, it makes a good point. I mean, if it didn't work the first time, why try it a second time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if it's not broke, why fix it? If they want to reboot it, reboot it. But reboot it as Samantha.
And there's some of those shows.
Bring Samantha back, which is fine. You know, recast her. Would have a Bewitched show.
It's some of those shows, too, you got to remember, that were on 30, 40, 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't think they can work nowadays. Because they were great back then. But some people are like, okay, what's this? Because it wasn't on when they did a Bewitched movie.
Will Ferrell and Nicole Kidman, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't anything great.
No.
That was, I think, their shot at trying to redo Bewitched.
Right.
And it's like that with some other shows. I mean, it was great back then. Doesn't mean it's going to work now.
Yeah, it may not work now.
One of my mom's favorite shows growing up, Bionic Woman. They tried to redo that. Horrible.
Bionic Woman.
Even for me, I think the Sarah Connor Chronicles. You're trying to pull off something from Terminator, but
yeah, it's just not working.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's again, like you said, that is the main purpose of this topic today, is discuss, evaluate why it's worth for some national, TV stations to reboot shows, or if it's a good idea to just create a new material.
I want to see more new created stuff. It seems like nobody can create something new anymore. Mm-hmm. Yes, we get criticized. Actually, for instance, you and I love the comic book stuff. We talk about it all the time here. There's a lot of people out there that say, why can't you create something your own? You're taking something from a comic book that's been known for God knows how long and making movies out of it. You're not really creating something new. But I see it as you are, because we haven't had that movie yet.
The thing is that there's so many of its stories in the comic book world that they could make that you had never seen before. Like in Marvel, I would love to see House of M come to like a TV show or a movie, and that's when Scarlet Witch kind of goes crazy and transforms the entire universe. So that's what House of M is about. I'd like to see that, more Scarlet Witch stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Exactly.
Reboots can be done, and they can be done the right way. It's been shown that Disney can with Girl Meets World. It shows that Netflix can even do it with The Fuller House. Because, despite what people say about it, it is a show that keeps on track with the original. Very nicely done. But then there are some stations that really shouldn't do it at all, as ones that you've already mentioned. So really, they need to stop being lazy with writing and really think about, is this a good idea or not?
Sure.
And do you want to be a network known for reboots? That's another big one, too. Because, without all this new stuff and just reboots, how's that channel going to do? How's it going to hold? I'd love to see new stuff come out. I'd love to see a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show come back out. Wouldn't you like to see that?
I would, but I feel like it's still too early.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, half the stuff is still too early, think about it. It works, because Boy Meets World ended. It started in 1993, so it must have ended probably in the early 2000s. So looking maybe 11, 12 years before the new show came back out.
Again, it's where, how I said, you have a different reference of a reboot compared to mine where I say spinoff. Whereas you want to see Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, would you like to see it start like it started before, where you have Will Smith's character come from Philly to Bel-Air?
Oh, like a whole recasting and just start the show over?
Yeah, is that what you want to see?
Not really, no.
Okay. So
No.
you want to see it continue because the last episode...
They all moved out,
They
right?
all moved to New York, and Phil
Yeah.
stays in Bel Air to finish his degree. So you'd like to see maybe what happened to Phil at the Will at the end, because he gets married, he graduates, all that stuff.
That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because that's how I see Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of questions opened at the end of Boy Meets World because Topanga, Corey, and Sean and Eric moved to New York. Where's it based? Girl Meets World based? It's based in New York. It's New York City. Where are they headed? So yeah, that's good. I don't mind seeing that in a Fresh Prince of Bel Air, for instance.
Right.
I don't want to see it all completely beginning switched over. Maybe
No.
that's
Unless it could hold water, which a lot of these shows, it can't. You can't just... You can do it to a movie sometimes, but for TV shows, you can't really redo the show and just say, yay, let's do that. It's got to be, you're saying spin-off, reboot for me. It's got to continue the storyline more.
and that's where when we earlier talked about Xena, for instance.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be excited for it. Honestly. Because I put both Hercules and Xena on very high pedestals.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I wouldn't mind them continue the story with Hercules, because that would work.
You could kind of work it into it because look at the Hercules movies we've had come out. There's been a lot to deal with Hercules all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So if you reboot it or continue it or something, it could generate a lot of interest because it's fresh in a lot of people's minds. And then maybe do something with Xena like they did. I mean, that's how Xena started. She was a character, I believe, in an episode of Hercules, and then got her own series.
Yep.
So.
And in the episode that she was in, she was a villain.
Yep.
So now it's in the storyline of her becoming, more of the fight for the people kind of person.
Exactly.
Xena was a really weird show. It really took a lot of different directions. It wasn't all based on just the Greek gods themselves, unlike Hercules, where most of the episodes were based around the Greek gods. I'd like to do a reboot of Hercules, continue the story, The problem is, though, is that do you recast or do you use Kevin Sorbo?
Exactly. I mean, Kevin Sorbo, it's not...
He still looks phenomenal.
Exactly. I just don't see it happening.
But do you think... The question is, do you think that he would want to do that? Look at his career right now. He's just doing a lot of indie films. He's not really sunk his teeth into anything solid as of late that I remember of. So he might want to,
like I said, if it was up to me, I want to see a new cast. If it happened, just because I want to see that younger version.
Like a whole new show.
Could be.
That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of nice. Well, so to wrap up, what our thoughts of today's episode's topic is, reboots, is it worth it or not? It all depends. It all depends. It really depends. There are some really good reboots, some real not reboots.
Yeah, like we said, the whole animation reboot thing, it's not working.
No.
I think the only way it is maybe working for me is in a Simpsons kind of thing. A lot of it was hand-drawn in the late 80s, early 90s. And now it's all computer generated. But again...
So just new animation style is fine.
Yeah, but again, that's The Simpsons have been on for God knows how long, and it's been stretching the storyline after storyline after storyline. Yeah. With the Powerpuff Girls, it just didn't make sense. With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it just doesn't look right.
Right.
So, it's a hit or miss. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. The DuckTales thing. Look, it made its own episode for us. It's a big show. I won't judge it until I actually see it.
Right.
Yes, we've seen images on the computer, but on the computer compared to watching a series is something totally different. So
agreed.
Give it a shot.
Well, Andy, that is all the time we have today, I believe. Yeah.
Jeez,
already an hour.
Time flies by when you're having fun on a gloomy day.
That was a good discussion. I think we came to a lot of conclusions.
Yeah, and there's so much to talk about. There's a lot of shows that you and I maybe didn't grasp on today. Mm-hmm. I know, for instance, I don't know really if they're reboots or if they're spin-offs of movies, but for one thing we didn't mention, Sci-Fi has their new show called Krypton coming out this fall.
Right.
I mean,
that would be a spin-off.
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be a spin-off.
it's set 200 years before Superman.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's things like that. Is that going to work? It's like the Star Trek thing when we mentioned earlier. Is it going to work? How many Star Treks have there been?
Yeah.
So, like I said, a lot of these TV shows nowadays, the problem is they're hit or miss. I remember when we were growing up, you had set TV shows, and there wasn't like hundreds of thousands of different shows to watch. Mm-hmm. And now it seems like you find something you like, it only lasts a season or two.
Right.
They're hit or misses. You could have a great season 1. There's a show on NBC called Revolution. I told you about where the power goes on and stuff.
Yeah.
Season 1, amazing. Problem with season 2 is at the end of season 1, they turn the power back on. It goes back off, and then it comes on and off and on and off here or there.
Well, it's time to turn the power off here, Andy.
Yeah, so,
when you wrap us up, we are ready to leave.
like always, don't forget this episode and every other episode that you all enjoy watching week after week is on our Facebook page at Legends of the Nerds and on our YouTube page at Legends of the Nerds. Don't forget, you can talk to this guy over here every day on our Twitter page, which is Krillin Man on Twitter.
Twitter.
Granted, I don't know, about 5 months away or so, but Comic-Con is coming around the corner.
Yes, it is.
We're hoping to be there again this year and to be able to talk to every one of our amazing fans all across the world. Granted, most of the fans that will be there will just be in Vermont, but we will be there again. So we hope to see you all there. Any other news?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing. I'm good to go.
You never got nothing at the end of the show.
Covered it all today.
Okay. Well, like I said, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this show, and as always, stay nerdy.